seen Disney failing in nearly every aspect over the last several years, especially as their push for identity politics has driven so many people away, specifically families. And for a brand that used to be known as the family-friendly entertainment brand, that is not good news. And what have we seen from Disney? Fail after fail, flop after flop, losing billions of dollars on streaming. And now, the one studio they had that was truly focused on those family-friendly animated films has been dead in the water. And now, the layoffs that a lot of people have been expecting for a long time are finally coming. Go woke, go broke. Disney's Pixar to undergo significant layoffs in 2024. Now we know exactly the scope and scale of those layoffs. Disney's Pixar Animation to lay off about 14% of its workforce, nearly 15% of its workforce out the door. Almost 200 jobs cut. I think right now Pixar's looking around 1,300 employees. Well, about 200 of them have just lost their jobs. Major Pixar layoffs, long expected, now underway in restructuring. And of course, Disney's like, this was a long time coming. We're going to focus more on feature films instead of Disney Plus streaming series and blah, blah, blah. The bottom line is that just like nearly everything else at Disney, people have walked away. Fans have walked away. They are no longer trusted, especially when it comes to families. And who could blame them? You just want your kid to be entertained. You don't want them to be indoctrinated. And everything we've seen from Disney, whether it's their adult content or their children's content, it is very clear that one of their priorities is indoctrination, is identity politics. It's about the woke agenda ahead of actually entertaining people or telling stories meant for families. And as a result, families have walked away. And nothing they've tried to do in the past couple years has worked. We know about Lightyear, a catastrophic failure, made about $200 million on a $200 million budget, one of the biggest flops they've ever seen. And then, of course, last year, even though the mainstream media tried to spin it as much as they could that Elemental was some grand success, Elemental lost money for Disney. Another movie with a $200 million budget that could not even get past $500 million. Considering the break-even point for a movie like that with a marketing budget like that is likely around $600 million, they fell well short of breaking even. That movie also lost money. So what did Disney decide to do in the beginning half of 2024? Well, hey, we know that during COVID, you guys didn't get to see these incredible movies we made in theaters. So we just put them on Disney Plus. So now we're going to put them out in theaters for all you guys to enjoy. Pandemic streaming Pixar picks Soul, Turning Red, and Luca to hit theaters for the first time. Movies will remain on Disney Plus during window. How do you think that did for them? Let's take a look. Soul. Just look at domestic box office, right? Because it did release internationally a couple years ago. Domestic, less than $1 million. What about Turning Red? Domestic, $1.4 million. What about Luca? $1.3 million. They actually thought they were going to do something. They actually thought that families were going to go out and support them in the theaters, these movies, and it did not happen. So now, once again, it's layoffs at Disney. We've seen that pretty much across the board. Disney has made massive cuts because they've had to. What was the speculation? They wanted to cut around $27 billion out of the budget for 2024. Well, I guess 200 jobs at Pixar, that might go a long way to helping some of those budget cuts. But to be frank, as long as Disney continues to churn out these movies for $250 million a pop when they don't need to be, it's going to be tough for them to be profitable. Look at what Illumination is doing with Universal, right? Illumination makes these Minions movies or the Nintendo movie, whatever, or the Mario movie, not the Nintendo movie, the Mario movie. They make them for $90, $100 million. You've got a lot of room to actually have some profit. Elemental would have been profitable if it only had a $100 million budget. But unfortunately, just like everywhere else at Disney, these budgets are massively inflated. And when you do everything in your power to push away your main core audience, your core demographic, families taking their kids to see these movies, it's not going to go well. It hasn't gone well. And now Pixar, just another massive failure for Disney over the last several years. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments section below. Smash a like button, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell for notifications, share this video out there, and I'll talk to you later.